Next up, we have Matt.
Okay, good morning. Rebecca just shared from Psalm 66, where the psalmist says, "Come and hear, all you who fear God. Let me tell you what God has done for me." I want to tell you a little bit of what God has done for me, and I hope that it's a testimony to my main point today, which is that you can trust God with your life. So in 2006, I was living in England. You might have heard a few English accents around here. And the place I was living, I needed to leave by a certain date, and I had nowhere to go. And I tried all these things, made arrangements, they all fell through. And I had about a week to go where I had to move out, and I had nowhere to live. That night I opened my Bible, and I didn't intend to play Bible roulette, but what came out was this passage we're going to look at where Jesus is talking about not worrying. And the phrase that jumped off the page to me was, your heavenly Father knows that you need these things. And I just felt like God was speaking to me like, I know you need somewhere to live. And so okay, I don't know where that's going to come from. So the next day, I phoned a family that I knew, and I said, hey, I got nowhere to live. Could I stay with you guys for a while? And they said, well, yes, you can stay with us for 6 weeks, and then we're moving to another country. And so I moved in with this family, and I am going to come back to that story in a minute, because I first want to jump into Luke 12 and go into the passage. So, and I hope that as we read it, you see the point that you can trust God with your life. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or your body, what you will wear. Consider the ravens. They do not sow or reap. They have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them. Consider how the wild flowers grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. And do not set your heart on what you will eat or drink. Do not worry about it. For people, the pagan world, or people who don't yet know God, run after such things, and your Father knows that you need them. But seek his kingdom, and all these things will be given to you as well." I want us to take 3 things from this passage. The first is, like God showed me that night, God knows that you need these things. He knows what's going on in your life. He knows about that family situation. He knows about that bill that's due. He knows about your rent payment. He knows everything that's going on in your life. And because of that, you can trust God with your life. Yeah. The second thing I want to take from this passage is that you can cast your cares upon him. Jesus said, don't set your heart on these things. Don't worry about them. He wants to take those things from you. And I think in return, he wants to give you his desires. So almost make a trade. God, here's my cares. And then we take on what he cares about, which is, excuse me, loving other people. And that's the seeking first his kingdom part. And then the final thing I want us to take from this passage is he's better at meeting your needs than you are. We can, like those birds, Jesus says, look at the birds. They're not looking stressed. Look at those flowers. But God takes care of them. They're not anxiously trying to meet their own needs, toiling, but God feeds the birds and he clothes those flowers. In the same way, we can resign from the position of looking after our own needs and trust the Lord with all of our heart. And because of that, you can trust God with your life. Going back to 2006, when I had nowhere to live, that experience where God put me in this family for 6 weeks, that wasn't something I was thinking about. It was so transformative for me. It wasn't just a roof over my head. It was deeply transforming relationally, spiritually, socially, emotionally. And God knew that I needed that. So here I am trying to arrange something over here, and he's not letting it happen because he's got something for me over there. And so I'm so grateful that he knows more than just my material needs, but he knows everything that we need. So what is happening in your world right now? What's on your mind? What are you worried about? Like the psalmist, I want to tell you to come and hear what God has done for me, to encourage you that you can trust God with your life.